underdogs, and I'm fine with it. I got so much crap to say regarding the 49ers, regarding so much shit that we are getting this week, that the Eagles have no chance, that literally everything that we've done, every accomplishment this year that we have done has been for nothing, has been absolutely just, we have done nothing this year, and everybody is against us, and I need to talk about some things. Things got to be said, and obviously the play calling has been speculated to be more of Nick Sirianni than BrianJohnson.
Because I've seen enough horror movies to know any weirdo wearing a mask is never friendly.
Yo, what is going on, guys? I hope everyone's having a fantastic day today. So there's a lot to talk about regarding the Philadelphia Eagles in a big NFC matchup this week. I got to talk about the 49ers. Flip on the TV, and I swear to God, I mean, the Eagles are already 2.5 underdogs, two and a half underdogs this week. I'm not shocked, and I don't care, because you know what? Like, this team feeds off of that bullshit all the time. Okay, the 49ers do not scare me at all. They don't. And the number one weakness they have is Brock Purdy. I don't care what you say. Okay, this is the difference between the Eagles and other teams. The Eagles could beat you in 20 million different ways. They could beat you with the run game. They could beat you with Jalen Hurts' legs, his arm, any receiver, any day, any tight end, anybody during the week. They can beat you with anything up their sleeve. With these other teams right now, they have to win by a certain protocol and a certain sequence, play sequence, and this person has to be in. They have to use this I mean, I understand that, the Eagles have to do certain things, but the Eagles have beaten teams, come back and trailed in so many games this year, and have beaten teams in different ways. Rain, sleet, or snow, just like Jalen Hurts said, the Eagles are ready to go, which he is right, okay, which he is right. But when Brock Purdy had to deal with injuries for 3 weeks, that man looked like, I don't know what he looked like, okay? He looked really bad, throwing picks, can't set his feet. I mean, you lose Trent Williams, you lose Deebo Samuel, and I understand losing your left tackle, it is what it is, but the Eagles lost a right tackle in a game against the Bills last week, and they were perfectly fine. The Eagles adjust really well. The only time where they had injuries where they really struggled was really the Jets game. They sat a lot of guys out there in that Jets game. Lane Johnson didn't play during that Jets game, and they paid the price for it. But this was 3 weeks straight where Brock Purdy was struggling so much. And guys, this isn't the best quarterback we're facing on our schedule this year. That's what I'm trying to say this past week. This isn't. You just faced Mahomes. You just faced Josh Allen. Seriously, Brock Purdy is the best quarterback we're facing on our schedule. There is no way I'm going to believe. Okay, which I think we all have a brain as of right now. Purdy works with a good system like any other quarterback does. Okay, but there is nothing extra with Brock Purdy that tells me that he is the game changer. I don't see a game changer in Brock Purdy. I just don't see that extra element that he brings to an offense. He's in a perfect situation around a perfect team. He's not doing this on any other team. We could say that about any other. And look, I have no issue with making it a perfect situation. All I'm saying is between Brock Purdy and Jalen Hurts, there is no it factor with Brock Purdy. There's no it factor. There's no extra element to where Brock Purdy is standing out above his own team. And Jalen Hurts has done it a million times. It's night and day difference. And the 49ers praise this man, and I get it. He's a 6th-round pick. I get it. But this game, this Sunday, guys, at this point, I mean, Reddick's going to have a big game. Josh Sweat might have a big game. The right side of the offensive line for the 49ers really doesn't scare me too much. The left side is where their strength is at, okay? And it hasn't really changed. Their defense is really good. Obviously, our offense is facing a very good defense. That I'll give them, okay? But when it comes to the 49ers offense and Brock Purdy, once you pressure him, once you get a hand on him, it's over. I don't want no excuses. We physically beat him last year in the NFC Championship game. And I thought the Cowboys were bad. I have never seen a more crappy, most complaining fan base I have ever seen in my life. And the players are the most disgruntled, most whiny. It's that bad. Deebo Samuel, I'm telling you right now, like, he went into the offseason, this past offseason, called James Bradberry trash. Then when he gets attacked by everybody, he plays as the victim. And then recently, he was asked, do you regret what you said about James Bradberry? He said, no, I don't regret nothing I say. And James Bradberry don't say a fucking word. The Eagles aren't really saying anything back. Besides, I know that A.J. Brown and Deebo I know they're kind of like not close, but I know like they respect each other. And he was telling A.J. Brown was telling Eagle fans to go troll Deebo Samuel, and Deebo kind of laughed at the whole situation. So I know there's like a funny type friendship thing between them two at times. So I get it. But legitimately, Deebo is nothing but a running back that does nothing. I mean, a 1,000-yard season the past, what? I mean, he's got, 300-400 yards. I know he missed some games, but hasn't really done much this year. I'm not saying that the 49ers have good weapons on the offense. There's good weapons. Okay, I don't question George Kittle. I don't question a lot of the weapons that they have. That quarterback is the weak link to that offense. That quarterback is where... I looked at the schedule. I'm looking at the schedule for the 49ers. There's nothing on here. The best team that's on here is Baltimore, literally. Pittsburgh, LA Rams, Giants, Arizona, Dallas, Cleveland, Minnesota, Cincinnati, Jacksonville, Tampa, Seattle, Arizona, Baltimore. This is the best team they're facing on their schedule right now. The best team. Miami, I said the same thing during Miami week. I said, we are the best team on their schedule. Miami doesn't really have the hardest schedule either. Okay? This is the best team on their schedule as of right now. Besides Baltimore, when they play on Christmas, other than that, this team doesn't impress me at all. Them losing because of 2 injuries, even if Deebo is out. And look, let me tell you something. Okay, the Eagles have gone how many games? Okay, the Eagles have gone how many games where either A.J. Brown has a big game or Devontae Smith has a big game? Okay, obviously when you have both of them on the field, it grabs attention. But I have never seen a quarterback fold so bad. And yes, they end up getting healthy and they're back on track to winning again. Obviously, this has helped the Eagles in the number 1 seed. Detroit losing on Thanksgiving has helped us win the number 1 seed. Okay, and then you got stupid shit from everybody hearing on news television. From some of the major sports media shows. The 49ers have a better offensive line. The 49ers have a better defensive line. The 49ers have a better quarterback. Seriously, there are people actually saying this shit. And I don't get how the Eagles, every time the Eagles win a game, it's always, if Casey didn't have the drops, if the Bills didn't get called for this. It's literally, if there was any other team facing the Bills, facing Casey, facing these other teams this year, they would be praised. When it's the Philadelphia Eagles facing these teams, it's always excuses every single week. This team is finding ways to win every single week, and it pisses me off. And then you have this shitty, sad fan base, okay, and literally, this fan base, they got people running up the Rocky steps early this week, not even on the weekend. For a fact that they're being a bunch of bitches because they wouldn't be doing this shit on the weekend. They wouldn't be doing this crap on the weekend. They're doing this on a work day in the middle of the week. Half of these guys are probably college dropouts, high school dropouts, or have nothing to do with their spare time, with their 20 people on the stairs looking so stupid, so dumb. Okay? It's just you guys are just asking for it. You guys are literally asking for it. We're underdogs. I think the league wants us to win the Super Bowl. I think behind the scenes of all the major sports media outlets, I think they all want us to win the Super Bowl, honestly. I think they do at this point because I haven't heard one good word about the Eagles this week. Still 10-1, coming off a Super Bowl last year with 2 new coordinators, and it's never happened. And the Eagles get no respect yet again. And this fan base is asking for it. The media is asking for it. You don't think the players are hearing about this? You don't Deebo's comments. You don't see James Bradbury firing back at him. You don't see any of that. I mean, even after the Super Bowl, James Bradbury took accountability on the holding call that he had. He didn't blame anybody else. He didn't point fingers. The Eagles didn't point fingers. I mean, the only thing they point fingers at was really the wet field. But other than that, because it was obviously really bad. But it's just, man, everything is set up for Philadelphia to win this game. This is going to be, and I'm hoping I'm right on this, because I'm starting to feel that this is going to be the game where this is going to be the Eagles' most complete game. If you're looking for a complete game, this week is going to be it. And you would say I'm crazy because it's the 49ers. That name, that team, supposed to scare us because of what the record is and being a threat to where the Eagles can meet them for a second time in the playoffs, which could definitely happen. Okay? This game is in Philadelphia. You're facing the most resilient team in the NFL right now. I mean, I'm talking about us. They're facing the most resilient team in the NFL right now. Between the media outlets, the fan base of the 49ers, the players talking their shit. I mean, it's just now being 2.5 underdogs this week. All combined together to set up a massacre. A total massacre this week. And that's all I got to say about it. I think they're frauds. I think they're, I don't, like I said, I'm not saying they're a bad team. All I'm saying is, and look, you shut down Christian McCaffrey and put it all on Brock Purdy. If the protection isn't good, and, you know, Sean Desai didn't coach this defense last year. This defense is going to get after it. I think Hassan Reddick is going to have a big game. Hassan Reddick has circled this on his calendar the whole entire year. The whole 49ers, between the front office, the coaching staff, and the players, have circled this game on their calendar as well. Coming back to Philadelphia. Doing all this extra shit for clicks and views, whatever the fuck these fans are doing, it's doing nothing but going to embarrass them by the end of the week. Enjoy your 20 seconds of fame or your week of fame of what you did. We went to the Rocky Steps, and we did this in Philadelphia in broad daylight, middle of a work day, not even the weekend. You did this shit on a fucking Tuesday, Wednesday, whenever they did this, okay? Because that's just who they are. They have no balls to do this at Lincoln Financial. They have no balls to do this on the weekend where there's going to be Philly fans all over the place. So that's perfectly fine. They're showing their true colors. The 40-winers are going to be whining even more after Sunday, and that's all I got to say about that situation going forward. Brock Purdy just doesn't do it enough for me to say that. I mean, like, the only thing that Brock Purdy could do in this game is get a lot of underneath passes on this defense. But other than that, I think once he's pressured, once the Eagles get in his head, once he, better protect your quarterback, because I'm telling you right now, I miss physical football, and what they showed last year in the NFC Championship game was physical football. And because this game has gotten so snowflake-like the past for years, okay, this game has gotten so the rules and what quarterbacks are getting away with, and not putting too much on quarterbacks where you have to, you should be telling players how to protect themselves, then putting all these rules where defensive players have to do a million things before they hit the quarterback or hit somebody on the field. I mean, we're literally almost canceling hip tackles at this point. That's how bad it is. And Brock Purdy is going to get sacked in this game. And the Eagles know what's going on behind the scenes. Maybe some guys don't read the outside noise sometimes, but it fuels this team. And I'm telling you, all the 49ers did last year was, before going to the NFC Championship game, was saying that they're the more physical team, and look what happened. The Eagles knocked out their quarterback, knocked them out, and they had nowhere else to go. So you better protect your quarterback. You better be ready for what you're preparing for, because as much as you think, even if the 49ers take a lead, the Eagles are going to break their hearts in the end, because this is what they do. They will break your hearts in the end when you think you have them, when you think you're grasped them, when you have your hands around their throat and you're pushing really strong. Eagles are going to get out of it. And this team, like I said, does not scare me at all. It's a complete joke what I've seen this week so far. Now we're after all that. Now I want to talk about Nick Sirianni and BrianJohnson. Okay, a lot of speculation, a lot of rumors are going around right now that Nick is handling a playbook for BrianJohnson in his own favor for the first half of games. I don't get why this first half, second half of these games are day and night. I mean, they're totally different. What if BrianJohnson isn't the one we should be mad at, really? What if we're pointing the fingers at the wrong guy? Because back in 2021, when Nick was the head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles on his first year, we had issues with him and Steichen. And obviously, Nick Sirianni was calling the plays. We weren't running the ball enough until literally first quarter of the season. We weren't running the ball. And this is what we were, 2-5. I forgot what we were at the time, 2-5 or something like that. And Shane Steichen was handed the duties, and then we really started to ramp up this offense. Why does Nick have to have his imprint on this offense? Nick loves wide receivers. We know this. He was a former wide receiver. He loves getting the wide receivers involved. I feel like what Nick wants to do is get that early strike every first half, and it just doesn't work. Sometimes it does. You're able to get against the Bills, they had that 1-10 play drive, but most first half of these games, it hasn't been productive. The Eagles have not reached its peak offensively because of these first halves. And yes, BrianJohnson does call some stupid plays when it comes to situational football. But at the same time, if Nick has a grasp on enforcing Brian to do things that Brian doesn't want to do, it's a problem. And I think it has to be changed. I don't get how you go into every football game with the same game plan for the first half and second half. Run the football. Run this offense through, obviously, Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown, and Dallas Goedert, but run the offense through your run game with DeAndre Swift, because DeAndre Swift just brings so much juice. And after every play, I feel like everybody's excited. I feel like everything changes after that. So I feel like there is some type of playbook. There is a sheet, a play call sheet that Nick has that he gives BrianJohnson for the first half. And I feel like, Brian has to kind of follow Nick's cadence on what he wants done. Nick likes to get that deep shot, likes to get that dead shot, early big strike in a game to put points on the board fast. Obviously, you're trying to rest your running backs, but it's just not enough, okay? The second half, it just changes. Like, we're doing these different formations, double running back sets, pony set. I mean, just these different plays that are just, I'm seeing two different, I feel like I'm looking at two different coaches. I feel like I don't feel like I'm looking at one coach. We could be wrong about it, but there's been a lot of speculation that Nick has a lot of hands on play calling in the first half. You might not see Nick with a clipboard. I think he has given a sheet or two to BrianJohnson. Hey, run what we have here. See if we can get that early dagger shot. You ran with DeAndre Swift 3-4 times in the first half. You didn't really run with him that much. I mean, you're barely running with him, period. You use Swift for one quarter of every game. It's the same shit every game. You run Swift in one quarter, and then you go to Gainwell more in the second quarter. You know what I mean? And then the defense is tired. I don't know how they won that Bills game defensively. I really don't, because they held off as much as they possibly could. And by the end of the second quarter, they were gassed. And this is where you have to be careful, because your defense will get tired when there's 3 and out, punt, punt, punt. I mean, that's just the way it's going to go. I feel like something is going on. We're going to see that game where Brian's going to have full control of this offense. We might be pointing our fingers at the wrong guy, because why does this offense look that different in the second half? It's a totally different team. And I say to myself, man, BrianJohnson throughout his career has always done well with quarterbacks, okay? And the play calling, I think, is good. Imagine you add like the second half play calling into the first half. I mean, you're going to bury teams over 40 points a game. Like, literally, you're going to do that. I think we'd be untouchable. I just, the comeback wins are a part of what Nick is failing to do. Like, I feel like it's feeling more scripted in the second half. Like, we're scripted to win games when we're trailing in the second half with BrianJohnson's play calling. Okay, and it's unscripted the way the Eagles play. I think it's the total opposite. I feel like we're more scripted in the first half because Nick is trying to give plays to these receivers. They're trying to get pass happy so much. It only makes so much sense. Remember, Nick has always said every single year that he's been the coach to this team the past few years, he said the offense runs through your receivers. And I feel like he overly tries to get that that death shot downfield, okay, that's going to get us to a quick score. I like how the Eagles do take shots downfield, but like I said, situational football is key here. We're only giving BrianJohnson a whole half to really play out like what he wants to do with the offense. I mean, we must be holding so many plays in our back pocket right now because even these first half of games, it looks so bold, it looks so vanilla. You're not tiring out a defense running play action and just running a standard pass. You're just not doing it. When you're not running the ball, you're not tiring out the opponent's defense. And then once we get into that second half, then we start cooking. And then it's more pressure on BrianJohnson at the end of the day. So it's a lot to really breathe in. We'll probably never find out what has been going on with this offensive play calling, but it would be nice to see. Like, I just feel like Nick has a lot to do with what they're doing in the first half, and maybe we are pointing fingers at the wrong person. I could be wrong, but why does your offense feel this different from first half to second half of every game? It's weird. It's the weirdest thing I've ever been through as an Eagles fan this year. You guys let me know in the comment section below what you guys think about this situation. The 49ers in general, frauds, and their fan base, and their schedule, and just in general, like, what is it going to take the Eagles to win this game on Sunday? I think this is going to be the first game. And if Nick could just calm down and let Brian do a little bit more in the first half, I'm telling you, we'd be doing a lot better right now. Trailing wins are great. They're fantastic, but it hasn't been a comfortable week. I would like one comfortable week, at least one. I'm asking for one. I'm not asking for 2 or 3. I'm asking for one. And this would be a nice week to do it, kind of put the cherry on top of the NFC, beating the San Francisco 49ers. Because really, realistically, I'm not saying this is going to happen, but even if you split with the Cowboys, you win against the 49ers, you split with the Cowboys, I feel like the Eagles run the table regardless because Dallas is going to be one game behind. You have to face Seattle, Cardinals, Giants, Cardinals, and I think they win the rest of those games. Big chance big chance they're undefeated in the NFC East this year. Big chance. So, we'll see what happens. You guys let me know in the comment section below what you guys think. I'll see you guys on the next one. Shakes, what up, Falls? Peace out, guys. Peace.